Hello, my name is Joe Kinsel, and I would like to talk to you about a unique ministry opportunity coming to Richland County this July 12th through the 18th. City Church is supporting a wonderful ministry called Royal Family Kids Camp. I've been involved in Royal Family Kids Camp since the early 1990s. I started in North Carolina with my wife, and I'd just like to share one story from my camp experience. This is one of dozens, but I just want to share one story with you. As part of the camp, it's a week-long camp, and it's just basically to give kids a positive memories. It is faith-based, and we had this. I was at the time, my wife and I were assistant directors, and we had a young girl. I'll call her Jenny, and Jenny had been ritually abused with a crucifix. Her parents were heavily into the occult, and one of the activities that we had planned for the kids was to have them make a little cross. They could put little seashells with it or paint it, and we were advised to be very careful with this particular activity, as Jenny might see a cross and become very frightened, possibly run away. We saturated that camp with prayer that whole week long. We absolutely bathed this young girl and all the children in prayer, and by the end of the camp, she had asked her counselor to make a cross, and I sat there on the final day and I watched Jenny with a very large gold cross around her neck, lifting her arms and singing, "Jesus loves me and Jesus has a plan for my life." And that's just one of the success stories. We know there are thousands of cases of abuse and neglect right here in Richland County. Hundreds of children have shackles and chains of abuse around them. And as God's people, Pastor Pelkey had spoken that we have the keys to unlock these children, unlock the chains that are burning them. I ask you to consider what you can do to help Royal Family Kids Camp. We need people who can give a week of their time this summer and help in camp, or people who may have some kind of special activity they could lead the kids with at night, or people who will bathe us in prayer as we go about God's work, or open up their checkbooks. Please prayerfully consider what you can do for Royal Family Kids Camp. Change a child's life right here in our own neighborhoods, in our own backyards. And in doing so, your life will also be changed. Thank you.
One of the boys at camp, his name was David. And David had been noticeably abused in that you could tell that his ear was a bit deformed as a result of the abuse. And that year at camp, we had a jungle theme. So David's counselor had given him a rubber snake to play with, because what boy doesn't want to play with rubber snakes, right? Well, David's counselor was also named David, and the counselor would take David through the camp, and they would do all these things together. They would go fishing, they would build a birdhouse, they would go swimming, but the camper would hold on to that snake. And any given moment, he would strike out and he would hit David, the counselor, with that snake. And just repeatedly, this was happening, throughout the day, and to the point where it was getting a little annoying for the counselor. And he told David, "Hey, that's enough," but he would continue to hit him. And so I said, "You know what? We can't let him hit counselors. We can't let him hit kids. So we need to find out where this behavior is coming from and let him know that it's not appropriate." So the boy's counselor, took him over to the side and said, "Hey, we've got to stop hitting. You can't hit me with that rubber snake anymore. That's going to frighten some other kids. We want to do that." And he said, "Why do you keep hitting me with that snake?" And the little boy, David, said, "Because I'm waiting to find out when you're going to hit me back." And that was one of those moments that took the counselor's breath away, just to realize that that's why he wanted to see how far can I push you before you're going to be hit back, because everybody else who had taken care of him, at that point, up to that point in his life, at some point they always struck back. And he needed to know, how far can I push it? Where's the safe zone? So they both learned a lesson in love that day. And David, the counselor, reassured him, "I'm not going to hit you back. You're special, you're unique, you matter, and that's not how we treat people." and he took it quite well, actually. And that toy snake just became a toy, and he had a really good time at camp. We go all out to really provide an atmosphere so that these kids can begin to understand what it's like to have a family, to be surrounded by adults who really care about them. We have a camp grandma and grandpa. We have a camp aunt and uncle. Just to kind of create that sense of family. They have the best jobs at camp because their job is just to love kids, just be there and to read them stories, to give them the one-on-one attention, just to stop and listen. Many psychologists say that children equate being heard with being loved, and to give them someone that they can talk to, their counselor or people like that, to create that sense of family. It's all about creating positive memories for these kids, something that they can hold on to, because their road, even though they may have been removed from the immediate danger in their biological families and they're placed in foster care, that doesn't mean that all of their challenges and their trouble in life is over. They have to learn how to survive and to thrive in this world. So we try to create positive memories that will last a lifetime.